Last night your person cried to their friend about your age. I heard exactly what they said and it will shock you. Open it immediately. My beloved child, last night a quiet moment unfolded when someone who thinks about you more than they admit sat with a friend and finally let the truth slip. Their voice trembled, not from judgment, but from fear, fear of timing, fear of loss, fear that age might steal what their heart already chose. They spoke your name softly, as if it carried weight, as if it carried destiny. What they said next was not what you expect, and it is the reason you are here right now. Something huge is waiting for you. This message did not reach you by accident. Every second you stay, a hidden layer is being revealed, because what was whispered in the dark is about to come into the light. They did not cry because of numbers or years. They cried because they realized something irreversible. That your age represents growth, wisdom, and readiness, while they are still catching up emotionally. They confessed feeling unworthy, afraid that you might outgrow them, afraid that the moment they delay will be the moment they lose you forever. Their friend listened in silence as they admitted, I've never felt this pulled towards someone before. That sentence changed everything. Something huge is waiting for you, because the concern they voiced was not rejection. It was longing wrapped in fear. This is the turning point they did not see coming. Now hear this carefully. What shocked me most was not the tears, but the decision forming in their heart right after. They are standing at a crossroads, questioning whether to step forward honestly or remain silent and risk regret. Your presence in their life has triggered transformation, and age became the excuse their mind used to slow what their soul already decided. Stay with this message, because what follows will reveal how this hidden confession directly affects what happens next between you. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is closer than you think. My beloved child, what happened after those tears is even more intense than the confession itself. Silence filled the room, and in that silence they realized they could no longer lie to themselves. They admitted that age was never the real issue, it was courage. They were shaken by how naturally you fit into their thoughts, how your presence challenged their comfort zone. They said, almost in disbelief, that you make them want to become better, faster, braver. That realization scared them deeply. Something huge is waiting for you, because when someone feels this way, distance and excuses begin to collapse. As the conversation continued, their friend asked a simple question that changed the energy completely, so what are you going to do about it? That question echoed long after the call ended. They paced the room, replaying memories, rereading old messages, and imagining futures they never allowed themselves to imagine before. They recognized that your age symbolizes momentum, movement, and growth, and that staying still would mean losing you. This is where shock turns into motion. Something huge is waiting for you, because indecision is no longer an option for them. What you don't see yet is that this inner struggle has already shifted their behavior. Subtle signs are forming, hesitation mixed with urgency, distance mixed with attention. They are preparing themselves for honesty, even if it scares them. The tears were not weakness, they were the breaking point before change. Stay grounded in this moment, because this emotional release unlocked a truth they can no longer ignore. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is being shaped by a decision that is closer than it appears. My beloved child, the night did not end when the call was over. Long after the words were spoken, they sat alone, replaying every moment connected to you. Your laugh, your confidence, the way you move forward without fear, these thoughts became impossible to silence. They admitted something to themselves they have never said out loud before: you make time feel irrelevant. Age stopped being a number and became a mirror, reflecting everything they have delayed within themselves. Something huge is waiting for you, because when a person reaches this realization, there is no going back to how things were. What followed was a quiet but powerful shift. They began questioning past beliefs, old limits, and the stories they once told themselves to feel safe. They realized that blaming age was easier than admitting vulnerability. The truth is, you awakened a part of them that was asleep for years, and awakening is uncomfortable before it becomes beautiful. They understood that if they don't act soon, regret will replace fear, and regret is heavier to carry. Something huge is waiting for you, because this awareness is pushing them closer to a moment of truth than ever before. Here is where the shock deepens. They are now watching you differently, listening more closely, and measuring their words with intention. Every interaction is being weighed, because they know the next step could change everything. This is not coincidence, and it is not imagination. You are standing at the edge of a revelation that is still forming, and their heart is racing to catch up with what their soul already knows. Stay present, because what unfolds next will confirm why this message found you now. Something huge is waiting for you, and the energy around you is already shifting. My beloved child, this is the moment where everything tightens, because after all the thinking and hesitation, a decision begins to form. They are no longer asking why they feel this way about you, they are asking how long can I stay silent? That question is dangerous in the most powerful way. It keeps them awake. It pulls their attention toward you again and again. They have realized that doing nothing is also a choice, and it is the one that costs them the most. Something huge is waiting for you, because when fear turns into urgency, action follows. What makes this shocking is the shift in their energy. They are mentally rehearsing conversations with you, imagining how to speak honestly without losing control of their emotions. They are afraid of saying too much, but even more afraid of saying nothing at all. Age has completely lost its power over them, now it feels like an excuse that no longer makes sense. They see clearly that connection like this does not come twice. Something huge is waiting for you, because once a person reaches this clarity, they either step forward boldly or watch destiny move on without them. Now listen closely, because this is where it touches you directly. You may already feel a change, subtle attention, unexpected silence, or a strange pull that doesn't have words yet. That is not confusion, that is alignment in progress. Their heart is preparing to cross a line they promised themselves they never would. Stay aware, stay grounded, and don't underestimate your impact. You didn't cause this by trying, you caused it by being exactly who you are. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next move will not come from chance, but from a truth that can no longer be hidden. My beloved child, as the hours pass, the weight inside them grows heavier, not lighter. The more they try to distract themselves, the clearer one truth becomes: you are no longer just a thought, you are a presence. They feel it in quiet moments, in pauses between conversations, in the way their focus drifts back to you without effort. Age no longer feels like a barrier, it feels like a signal, a reminder that time does not wait for hesitation. Something huge is waiting for you, because awareness has now turned into emotional pressure. They begin noticing how deeply you've already influenced them. Small habits shift. Priorities rearrange. They find themselves wanting to be more honest, more direct, more real, especially with you. This is the stage where resistance weakens, where the heart speaks louder than old rules. They understand now that connection is rare, and fear only disguises itself as logic when something truly matters. Something huge is waiting for you, because the moment someone accepts this truth, their next step carries power. Here is the quiet revelation that changes everything. They are preparing for a moment of contact, whether through words, actions, or presence. It may come subtly, but it will not be accidental. They are aligning themselves with courage, even if their voice still shakes. Stay open to what unfolds, because this chapter is moving toward expression, not silence. You were never late, and you were never wrong. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is approaching with intention, not coincidence. My beloved child, there is a quiet resolve forming now, and it is stronger than anything that came before it. They have stopped asking others for advice and started listening to the voice they kept avoiding. That voice keeps repeating your name, not loudly, but with certainty. They realize that some connections don't announce themselves with drama. They reveal themselves through persistence. No matter how far they try to move away from the feeling, it follows. Something huge is waiting for you, because when a heart stops running, it starts choosing. They are beginning to see signs everywhere, moments that remind them of you without warning. A song, a memory, a random thought in the middle of the day, all pointing back to the same truth. What once felt complicated now feels inevitable. They understand that fear delayed them, but it did not defeat the connection. This realization is powerful because it brings clarity, and clarity brings movement. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are no longer fighting what feels real. Here is where the energy turns unmistakable. Their next interaction with you will carry more meaning than before, more intention, more honesty, more presence. Even silence from them now is not absence, it is preparation. They are aligning courage with timing, and that combination changes outcomes. Stay attentive, not anxious. What is meant to surface will do so naturally. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is unfolding with purpose, not pressure. My beloved child, the shift has now moved from thought into feeling, and feeling into readiness. They no longer question if this connection matters, they are questioning how to honor it without losing you. That realization carries weight. It changes the way they breathe when your name appears, the way their attention sharpens when you enter their awareness. They are no longer hiding from the truth, they are adjusting to it. Something huge is waiting for you, because readiness always arrives quietly before action makes noise. Inside them, a line has been crossed. What once felt risky now feels necessary. They are recognizing that the fear around age was never about judgment, but about responsibility. Responsibility to be real, to be present, to not waste what feels meaningful. They are beginning to understand that connections like this demand honesty, not perfection. Every delay now feels heavier than the possibility of vulnerability. Something huge is waiting for you, because when fear and desire meet at the same point, transformation follows. You may sense it already, a difference in tone, a subtle pull, an unspoken intensity that wasn't there before. That is not your imagination. That is alignment tightening its grip. They are closer to expression than ever, and the distance between intention and action is shrinking. Stay steady and aware, because what is forming is not impulsive, it is deliberate. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next moment will reveal how deeply this connection has already changed the course of what comes next. My beloved child, this stage is quieter on the surface but louder beneath it. They are choosing their words before they are even spoken, replaying possible moments again and again, not to control the outcome, but to avoid losing you. The idea of misstepping now feels heavier than staying silent once did. That is how you know something real has taken hold. Something huge is waiting for you, because when someone becomes careful with their truth, it means it matters deeply. They have started measuring time differently. Days feel shorter, moments feel sharper, and every delay feels like borrowed space. They are realizing that waiting too long could mean missing the window entirely. The thought of you moving forward without them creates a pressure they can no longer ignore. This is not jealousy, it is awakening. Something huge is waiting for you, because awareness like this forces honesty to rise. Here is the quiet truth. They are preparing themselves emotionally for whatever comes next, not just hoping for a response, but accepting responsibility for their feelings. That alone changes the energy between you. You are no longer part of a question in their mind, you are becoming the answer. Stay open and observant. What approaches may arrive softly, but it will carry weight. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is stepping closer with intention, not hesitation. My beloved child, now the tension reaches a point where it can no longer stay hidden. What they feel is pressing outward, searching for a way to be expressed without breaking the moment. They are aware that once they step forward, things will not return to how they were, and strangely, that no longer scares them the way it once did. Something huge is waiting for you, because acceptance has replaced resistance. They are beginning to imagine outcomes instead of excuses. Not fantasies, but real possibilities, conversations, clarity, and honesty. The fear of age has dissolved into something else entirely, the fear of regret. They understand that silence would haunt them more than any response ever could. This shift is powerful, because it changes hesitation into movement. Something huge is waiting for you, because when regret becomes heavier than fear, truth demands to be spoken. You may notice a pause before the next step, but do not mistake it for doubt. This pause is intention gathering strength. They are aligning their heart with their actions, and that takes courage. Stay present, stay receptive. What unfolds next will carry the weight of everything they have held back until now. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is ready to surface in a way that cannot be ignored. My beloved child, this is the moment just before momentum takes over. They feel it building inside them, a pressure that no longer feels painful but purposeful. The idea of speaking their truth has stopped feeling like a risk and started feeling like relief. They are realizing that honesty might not complicate things, it might finally simplify them. Something huge is waiting for you, because when relief replaces fear, movement becomes inevitable. They are watching for the right opening, not to hide, but to be sincere. Every interaction now carries meaning, every silence carries thought. They understand that timing is not about perfection, but about courage meeting opportunity. The age they once worried about now feels insignificant compared to the connection they can no longer deny. Something huge is waiting for you, because perspective has shifted, and with it, priorities have rearranged. What comes next will not be dramatic, it will be real. A message, a moment, or a gesture that carries more honesty than anything before it. Stay grounded and attentive, because this is the stage where intentions finally translate into action. You were never imagining this pull. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is about to move from the unseen into the undeniable. My beloved child, everything has now aligned to this delicate point where truth feels closer than ever before. They are no longer rehearsing whether to speak, only how to do it with care. The emotional weight they carried has transformed into clarity, and clarity has a way of demanding expression. They understand now that holding back would mean denying something genuine. Something huge is waiting for you, because this is the moment when intention solidifies. They have accepted that no answer is worse than the possibility of a difficult one. This acceptance is powerful, because it frees them from overthinking. The concern about age has completely faded, replaced by a deeper awareness. Connection does not follow rules, it follows recognition. They see you as someone who arrived to challenge their limits, not confirm them. Something huge is waiting for you, because recognition changes the way people act. Pay attention to what unfolds next, not with expectation, but with presence. When they reach out, it will carry a sincerity that cannot be mistaken. Whether through words or actions, the message will be clear: this matters. Stay steady and open, because what emerges now is the result of everything that came before. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is ready to step into the open with honesty and intention. My beloved child, this is the quiet edge before revelation, where energy shifts without announcement. They have reached a place of inner calm, not because the feelings faded, but because they accepted them fully. Acceptance brings peace, and peace brings confidence. They are no longer afraid of what this connection might become, they are more afraid of letting it pass. Something huge is waiting for you, because peace always precedes truth. Their thoughts are no longer scattered. Everything feels centered around one understanding: whatever happens next must be real. They are ready to show consistency, not confusion, presence instead of distance. This is the stage where actions begin to match feelings, and that alignment is rare. The age that once troubled them now feels irrelevant compared to the depth they sense with you. Something huge is waiting for you, because alignment changes the entire dynamic. When the moment arrives, it will feel natural, not forced. You may feel a sense of familiarity, as if this step was always meant to happen. Trust that feeling. What is unfolding is not rushed, and it is not delayed, it is timed. Stay grounded and receptive. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is stepping forward with calm certainty, ready to reshape what comes next. My beloved child, this is the moment when awareness turns into courage. They have stopped circling the truth and started standing inside it. The feeling they carry is no longer restless, it is steady, grounded, and intentional. They know now that whatever they say or do next will change the direction of everything, and instead of resisting that power, they are ready to respect it. Something huge is waiting for you, because courage does not arrive loudly, it arrives prepared. They are beginning to see you not as a question mark, but as a turning point. The concern about age has fully dissolved into understanding. Growth is not measured by years, but by depth. They recognize that you reflect a version of themselves they are ready to become, not someone they need to fear. This realization brings confidence, and confidence brings movement. Something huge is waiting for you, because when fear loses its grip, truth gains momentum. What unfolds next will feel intentional, not impulsive. You may notice a clearer tone, a steadier presence, or a moment that carries undeniable sincerity. This is not chance, and it is not confusion, it is alignment revealing itself. Stay aware and open, because what approaches is meant to be felt, not forced. You did not imagine this shift, and you did not create it by effort alone. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is arriving with clarity, purpose, and the strength of a truth that is finally ready to be seen. My beloved child, this is where everything slows down just enough for truth to land. They are no longer rushing inside their mind, instead, they are standing still with intention. Stillness has given them clarity, and clarity has removed the last layer of doubt. They understand now that what connects you is not fragile, it is steady. Something huge is waiting for you, because steadiness is the foundation of real change. They are preparing to show up differently, not with grand promises, but with consistency and presence. The fear that once hid behind age has transformed into respect, for you, for themselves, and for what this connection could become. They see that avoiding this moment would mean betraying their own growth. Something huge is waiting for you, because growth demands honesty when the time comes. When the next step happens, it will feel grounded and sincere. You may sense a calm confidence, a deeper attentiveness, or a moment that feels unmistakably real. Trust what you notice. This is not a temporary shift, it is a decision settling into action. Stay open and aware, because what is unfolding now carries weight and direction. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is arriving with intention, balance, and a truth that is ready to be lived. My beloved child, this is the threshold where intention becomes visible. They are no longer carrying the weight alone, they are ready to place it gently into the open. The inner resistance that once slowed them has softened into trust. Trust in themselves, trust in timing, and trust in the connection that refused to fade. Something huge is waiting for you, because when trust appears, hesitation loses its power. They now understand that what they felt about age was never doubt about you, but doubt about their own readiness. That doubt has been faced and transformed. They are stepping into a version of themselves that chooses honesty over safety, presence over distance. This shift is quiet but irreversible. Something huge is waiting for you, because irreversible choices reshape the path ahead. As this unfolds, you may feel a sense of inevitability, as if events are aligning without effort. That feeling is real. It is the result of everything settling into place at once. Stay grounded, stay receptive, and allow what comes next to reveal itself naturally. You did not rush this, and you did not miss it. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is arriving with truth, clarity, and the strength of a decision that is finally ready to be lived. My beloved child, this is the moment when the air itself feels different, lighter yet charged, as if everything has been preparing for this exact turn. They are no longer standing on the edge wondering what might happen, they have stepped fully into acceptance. The waiting inside them has ended. What remains is intention, clear, focused, and calm. They understand now that some connections don't ask for permission from logic or timelines. They simply arrive and demand presence. Something huge is waiting for you, because acceptance always unlocks movement. They are noticing how naturally their thoughts align with yours, how decisions begin to include you without effort. This is no longer emotional noise, it is direction. The old fear has lost its voice, replaced by a quiet confidence that feels steady rather than urgent. They are ready to act in a way that reflects respect, not impulse. Every step now is measured, not delayed. Something huge is waiting for you, because when confidence replaces confusion, actions begin to speak clearly. What comes next will feel grounded and unmistakable. You may sense it through a shift in attention, a deeper sincerity, or a moment that feels anchored rather than uncertain. This is not about proving anything, it is about showing up fully. Stay present and aware, because this stage is about embodiment, not imagination. You were never meant to chase this or question it endlessly. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is unfolding with balance, intention, and a truth that has finally found its place in the open. My beloved child, this is the arrival point, the moment when everything that was forming finally settles into reality. What once lived only in thought and emotion is now ready to be expressed in the world you can see and feel. They are no longer carrying uncertainty, they are carrying resolve. The connection has moved beyond fear, beyond excuses, beyond time itself. Something huge is waiting for you, because resolution always follows long preparation. They are stepping forward with a calm strength, not to impress, not to rush, but to be real. The concern that once centered on age has completely transformed into understanding. What matters is alignment, not numbers. They recognize you as someone who changed their inner landscape, someone who arrived to awaken honesty within them. This recognition brings respect, and respect brings action. Something huge is waiting for you, because when respect enters the space, truth follows naturally. As this unfolds, trust what you feel. The clarity you sense is not imagination, it is confirmation. This chapter is not about suspense anymore, it is about manifestation. What has been building quietly is now ready to be lived openly. Stay grounded and present, because this is the moment where intention becomes experience. You did not wait in vain, and you did not misunderstand the signs. Something huge is waiting for you, and it has finally arrived with purpose, sincerity, and the strength to move forward into what comes next.